Alright, check this out. I've got a good one here today. You do not want to miss this. Here we have the MSI GE66 with an 8-core i7, the RTX 3070, and a 300Hz Full HD display. Now this video will demonstrate performance and thermal expectations in Battlefield 5 multiplayer using DX11 and DX12 ray trace graphics. With a 90-degree field of view and ultra settings, make sure future frame rendering is turned on or you'll have severe performance issues. Starting with DX11 on the Rotterdam map with a full 64-player server, you'll see our CPU max out at 60 watts while the GPU cannot hit maximum utilization. This title does a great job of exposing bottlenecks, and here our CPU is not powerful enough to maximize the 125-watt RTX 3070. You might not complain as we're well past 100 FPS, but a much faster CPU would offer better GPU performance when playing hardware-demanding titles such as Battlefield 5 multiplayer. Taking this a step further, DX12 ray tracing on, performance is poor. DX12 has not been the consistent performer in this title like DX11, at least in multiplayer, so I don't recommend it. Now let's showcase how GPU frequency works when your CPU is the bottleneck. Within the Battlefield 5 firing range and max FPS cap bypassed, I'll explain this in the description, we'll now have a CPU that's in the 40-watt range, and our RTX 3070 is working great with high utilization and its frequency just under 1700 MHz. This is correct for a 125-watt 3070 in this GE66. Now I'll create a CPU bottleneck using throttle stop to limit both power limits to 20 watts. This will allow the GPU to dynamically boost to 130 watts as well. Notice how we have a higher GPU frequency than before, but our frame rate performance is much lower. GPU and CPU frequency have very little meaning unless they are loaded correctly. It's going to take much more CPU grunt than what's available today for laptops to push a 125-watt RTX 3070 in Battlefield 5 multiplayer, especially at Full HD resolution. Of course, we can buy laptops with Quad HD resolutions at high refresh rates now, but that's only hitting the reset button on the frame rate. Being able to further saturate your graphics card with higher resolutions only masks the ultimate issue. This is a byproduct of a powerful GPU behind CPU instructions per cycle performance that has not moved along at the same pace as graphics cards. We need more than just cores in situations like the one shown today to get the most from our 125-watt 3070.